Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Madam Chair, we are live.
We're live when you're ready.
Thank you. Calling to order the meeting of the West Windsor Township Town Council for March 9th, 2026. Allison, can you call the roll, please?
Charles,
Here.
Gavas, Jeevers. Here. Mandel,
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Okay, and have we adequately noticed?
Yes, this meeting was adequately noticed on January 23rd, 2026 to the Times and the Princeton Packet, filed with the municipal clerk and posted at the municipal building and on the township website. Joining us today from Parker McKay is Carl Taylor. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Moving on to ceremonial matters. We have two proclamations tonight. First one's for Women's History Month. We started this a few years ago. This is something that's very close to my heart. As most of you know, I'm an engineer. Started in engineering when it was very unusual for women. And I've tried to work since then, trying to get as many young people as possible, young women as possible, to try to see what they really want to do, and if it's something that's non-traditional, to feel that they have every right to do it, and to look into various non-traditional employment and careers, because they shouldn't be limited just because they're female. This week, I'm going to be over at Mercer County Community College, and I'm going to be part of a women's history panel on women in politics. I don't like to think of myself in politics. I like to think of somebody who's learned a lot of various things over the years and feel that it's something that's useful for government or whatever I happen to be in. But we're going to be talking to different women, telling them different ways to come up and take leadership positions. Anyway, I'll read the proclamation. Proclamation for Women's History Month. Whereas women have made substantial contributions throughout American history in the building of our nation, our freedoms, our culture, our commerce, and our families. And whereas the historical and current contributions of women is celebrated internationally, nationally, and the state of New Jersey during the month of March. And whereas Women's History Month provides us with the opportunity to honor, celebrate, and learn about the history of women through many events and activities that recognize the trailblazing achievements of women as they faced and overcame obstacles and continue to break down barriers. And whereas women have major roles across all fields, including science, education, medicine, law, politics, government, military, business, culture, sports, and more. And whereas West Windsor strives to encourage our diverse women of all ages and backgrounds to achieve their full potential in all endeavors, and encourages all our young people to pursue their futures with freedom. And whereas women in West Windsor historically and actively serve in all levels of government, including elected office, volunteer, emergency services, police, management, and staff positions. And whereas women in West Windsor contribute to our community every day as volunteers, educators, medical professionals, service personnel, business entrepreneurs, technical professionals, business people, artists, military service members, and managers across many fields while serving in their crucial family roles as both nurturers and providers. And whereas we stand together as both women and men to recognize women's history and accomplishments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Heman Hamrathi and the members of the Township Council hereby recognize March as Women's History Month in perpetuity. Thank you. And Dan, ask Dan Weiss to give the proclamation for Colon Cancer Month.
Yeah, thank you. Before we read the proclamation, just take a few moments to say a few words. 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. But today, I'm healthy and doing well. So technically, people might call me a cancer survivor, although I never really loved the word. Surviving sounds passive, like it's just something that just happened to me. But what the experience taught me is how strong the human spirit is and how people are far stronger than we think we are. When people hear the word cancer, they usually think about the physical side of the illness, the treatments, the procedures, the hospital visits. And yes, those things are pretty hard. But what people don't talk about so much is the emotional side, the fear, the uncertainty, the moments when you feel vulnerable and like you have lost control. That is why awareness and education matter so much here. I want to thank the West Windsor Department of Health for their ongoing work to promote proactive care and screenings that can reduce the impact of this disease and help people catch it early. The truth is, we're proactive about so many other things about our health in our life. We get our eyes tested, we get our blood tested, we get our skin checked. So it really should be a no-brainer to get our colons checked too. Now, colonoscopy is not at the top of anybody's list of favorite things to do, but it is quick, painless, covered by health insurance, and screenings can find and remove polyps that before they turn into cancer, and also detect cancer early enough when early treatment is very effective. And speaking from experience, I've had more colonoscopies than I care to admit. So if anybody is interested in any preparation tips, I'm always happy to help. It may not be the most glamorous medical test, but it is one of the most important ones, and it has the power to save lives. So with that, I would like to read the proclamation. Proclamation for Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in men and women in the United States. And whereas colon cancer is one of the few cancers that can be prevented with timely screenings, but 1 in 3 eligible Americans are not up to date on screenings. And whereas a colonoscopy is a procedure that detects small polyps or growths so that they can be removed before they develop into cancer, and screening finds colon cancer early when treatment can be most effective. And whereas screening for colon cancer should begin at age 45 or younger, if at a higher risk, and continued at regular intervals recommended by healthcare providers. And whereas observing Colon Cancer Awareness Month provides a special opportunity to increase awareness and offer education on the importance of early detection and screening of colon cancer. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Mayor Marate and the Township Council of the Township of West Windsor that the month of March be proclaimed as Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and that the Mayor and Township Council call upon all citizens to ask their healthcare provider about this potentially life-saving treatment and screening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We're now going to open public comment. Public comment is 3 minutes, 30-minute limit. What I want to remind everybody that this is public comment is not for the hearings later on. We have a number of ordinances that we will be hearing tonight, and those will have their own separate comment period as public hearings. So this public comment is for everything other than the ordinances that will be on here. So any resolutions, any general comments or whatever are fine, but if there is a hearing, please wait to speak on that. Is anybody signed up?
I do have a list.
Okay.
First on the list, Terza Warman.
Good evening. Terza Warman, 5 Stoneleigh Drive. So consistent with Officer Mandel's instructions, I'm not commenting on the car wash because I understand that will come later.
Mhm. Yes.
But I'm just asking for a general status on the closure of the Clarksville Road Bridge. I'm doing my best, and I know a lot of us are, to frequent the businesses who are along Clarksville Road. They are really, really hurting. It's now March 9th, and my question is, does anyone have a status on the reopening of the bridge? Thank you.
Thank you. When we're done with public comment, the mayor will have an opportunity to comment. Thank you.
Okay, next on the list I have is Mike Vachi. Sorry.
It's related to the car wash.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Okay. And let's see. Kevin Ronaldo is it same? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry if I can't read this. For Dogwood Court resident? Cockrush, okay. And Allison Miller.
In addition to the car wash, there are affordable housing ordinances on here. So there's some ordinances, and then there is one that's being introduced. So the one that's being introduced is part of public comment.
I'm Allison Miller. I live at 41 Windsor Drive, and I'm the vice chair of the Affordable Housing Committee. The committee sent you a memo. Did you get it?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. We outlined our concerns, which were general concerns. I was given to understand that the public hearing for the affordable housing ordinances would be at the next meeting, not this one. And we really wanted you to get our memo before the public hearing so that you could possibly amend to make sure that the issues which I brought up last time as a citizen of the bicycle safety, parking, and mingling the affordables and the non-affordables would be in every ordinance, not just most of the ordinances. And I know that, excuse me, this happens. I know that you were talking about affordable housing earlier. I do not know, of course, what you said. I do not know how important it is to move quickly and not futz with the ordinances, but if it's possible to futz with them, please do. That's my.
Thank you. Just to clarify, if you got copies of the agenda, the ordinances the affordable housing ordinances that we're voting on tonight are the zoning ordinances for the affordable housing. And the ordinance that's being introduced is the one that's for the subdivision and site plan procedures, which Allison will read later, but that's the one that's being introduced with the general provisions and supplemental regulations. So if anybody wants to discuss any of the general provisions as opposed to individual zoning for individual pieces of land, then this would be public comment.
That's what I'm saying. That what
Yes.
the Affordable Housing Committee wanted was that the general provisions would include a requirement that affordable units and market units be interspersed and dispersed. We had problems with lawyers who thought that those meant different things, though. Both Tom, the chair of the Affordable Housing Committee, and myself looked at 5 different dictionaries ranging from the late 19th century to the present, and we found no difference. Nevertheless, it would be nice to use both words.
Thank you.
And to require the safe and secure bicycle parking. So that's a general comment, and I will leave you now.
Thank you, Allison. Does anybody else wish? Please state your name and address, please.
Wenmin Zhang, 1 Glenview Drive, Princeton, New Jersey. I just want to clarify, this ordinance about the zoning, does it include the area, the parcel along the Alexander Road, across from the canal?
One of these zoning ordinances does
Okay,
include
so
that.
I should hold my,
Yes,
okay.
they will. So whichever, there's 6 or 7 or something on there. Whichever one is that particular one, that's the one you should get up for that hearing. There'll be a separate hearing on each piece of land.
Today.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Does anybody else wish to get up on public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment and go to administration comments.
Okay, Marlena couldn't be here today, so I'm wearing both hats. First, I'll make comments that generally Marlena would do. The collection by DPW in Zone 2 starts on March 9th. Today, if you go out today, it's very tough to imagine a week ago there was a problem with snow and you couldn't put your brush out. But trust me, it was. So there are a number of people in Zone 1 who did contact us to say that they couldn't put the brush out because it was snow covered, and whether we would come this week again to pick them up. So what we did do was, anybody who did request, we will go back to Zone 1 as well this week. So we will do Zone 2 and Zone 1 as well this week. This is only this time that we are going back and redoing it because extenuating circumstances that there was indeed a lot of snow on the ground and some of them couldn't collect or put, or they were under the snow. We didn't advertise the fact that we were going to go back and do it again this week simply because we didn't want people to procrastinate. Whoever could put it out last week, we did pick up in Zone 1 last week, but this week again we will go to Zone 2 and again go to Zone 1 for whoever couldn't do it because of the snow. But again, just to clarify, that's it. We won't go back again. And this is a one-time thing. So please do keep track of when your collection is. It's very simple. I mean, Zone 1 is week 1, Zone 2 is week 2, Zone 3 is week 4, Zone 4 is week 4. And if there's a 5th week in the month, we don't do anything. They just use it to catch up because generally they run behind. So again, if you are in Zone 1 and you could not keep it out either because you didn't get time or because of snow, this is your one-time opportunity to put it out, and they will come and pick up both Zone 1 and Zone 2 this week. Today is the last day to submit the essay for Louis Bay's second Municipal Leaders Scholarship. We did receive 6 or 7 essays, but you still have a few more hours to go till midnight. About 4.5 hours to go if you still want to submit the essay. The information is on our website. The Senior Center does offer income tax assistance to all seniors between February 3rd and April 14th. It's every Tuesday morning between 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. You are reminded to bring copies of your 2025 federal tax, last year's tax return, as well as all tax forms and documents. And AARP does provide this assistance free of cost. Again, every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the West Windsor Senior Center. And this is a little bit in future, but please put it on your calendar. Thursday, April 23rd, West Windsor will conduct the rabies clinic, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Princeton Junction Fire Station. Again, rabies clinic, Thursday, April 23rd, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Princeton Junction Fire Station. That completes our regular comments. Now I'll go to wear my own hat as mayor and make few comments. A couple of people had asked about the progress on Cranberry Road sidewalk. We have put out a RFP to hire a design consultant. We expect the replies back by 3/18. And based on the replies, if they're satisfactory, we hope to get a contract on council agenda at the April 13th meeting for designing the Cranberry Road sidewalk. Now, depending on the design and depending on how many people agree easily versus how many people take a long time to agree for the sidewalk, we hope to start the work next year, 2027, and finish it in 2027. The money for that was already allocated, half last year, half is in this year's budget. So unless the council takes it out, the money will be already allocated. And unless somebody, some homeowner, because we do need to get approval from a few homeowners near Rabbit Hill Road to put a sidewalk in their front lawn. So as long as nobody throws a big impediment, we do hope to finish it next year. And we will consult, once we have a design, we will consult with the people who are affected by the design and affected by the sidewalk. The Mercer County is redistricting West Windsor for voting districts. It's really doesn't make a big difference for us because we don't have a ward system. It was very confusing. They did send notice to clerk and said only clerk and mayor is allowed to see it and allowed to comment, but then they put it on the website and said anybody can come and comment, and they were not very clear. But I did tell Allison to contact the chair of both Republicans and Democrats in town. The Democrat chair seems to be sitting here, so he did get a chance to look at it. I think he did go to county and they won't show it to him. So the township did show it to him. It's nuts. I don't know why they won't show it. But anyway, I did take his suggestions, incorporated in our suggestions, and the county has agreed to accept all our suggestions. The maps are on their website, right? The maps are on county website.
County, I don't know if they have it on their website. They have it available. They're saying they
Oh.
posted in their legal ad. They have it available at their.
They're still proposed, so.
Yeah, but they're going to vote tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock.
At which point?
Yes, and Allison will be there. But there are changes that all of us agree. They are introducing a few extra districts. We're going to be 22. I didn't object because that way we get more representation at the county. Unfortunately, some of those districts are empty right now. They are based on future development, based on round 4. So they will be finalized tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But she did go, thanks to Allison, she did go to the last meeting last Thursday. They did accept all our suggestions and it will be finalized tomorrow. Lastly, our favorite topic, Clarksville Road Bridge. I've said it many times and every time I say, now I get worked up about Clarksville Road Bridge more than I get worked up about affordable housing. So that should tell you something. Essentially, both NJ and Amtrak are pointing to each other and saying it's their fault, it's their fault. Nobody wants to take ownership of the project. Nobody wants to designate it as an emergency. We did send the governor a packet last Monday, so it's exactly 1 week that she had a big packet. Thanks to everybody on the council who contributed one way or the other. The packet is on our website. You can see that. There's also, Joe has put out cards outside. You can sign a petition. But the bottom line is somebody higher up, either the governor or one of the senators, need to read riot act to both NJ and Amtrak. Amtrak keeps saying that it's an NJ problem because it's NJ bridge. NJ keeps saying that Amtrak doesn't give us enough outages to do that. NJ requires 2 permits. Amtrak, last time I spoke with Amtrak, they had issued only 1 permit so far, and the second permit wasn't issued. I did get an email from NJ saying that once they get the permit, they will inspect the bridge and then they will take 4 months to analyze the results and come up with a suggestion. And it's very frustrating to do that. We are trying to ask the governor to make it a priority. She has had it only for 1 week, so we keep talking to people in governor's office, trying to stress how important that is. And everybody on council is trying to do as best as we can, essentially. The county is helping as much we can. I mean, there was a fire in Avalon over the weekend. Luckily, it was not an emergency, and this is one
You
point
mean
that.
Avalon or Princeton Terrace?
Sorry, Princeton Terrace. Sorry. There was a fire in Princeton Terrace over the weekend. That's one of the things. Luckily, it was not major or caused substantial damage, but that's one of the things that we have kept stressing to Amtrak and NJ that whatever used to take our fire company 2 minutes to go, now it takes at least 10-15 minutes on non-busy times and up to 35 minutes in the evening at a busy time. And God forbid something happens on the other side of the bridge. Neither Hamilton nor Lawrenceville fire stations are close by. And anybody has any suggestions, we keep trying, we keep pushing everybody that we know, but neither of them seem to take it seriously. Very unfortunate to say that. I have requested both NJ and Amtrak pay a lot of people to do their PR, public relations. These people keep sending me emails. I have been requesting them for the last 2 months to send somebody from either MJ or Amtrak to a council meeting to explain to the council and to the public why it's taking so long to fix the bridge. And both of them have refused to come to any meeting. And we continue to request that at every meeting. I think even Andrea requested this time to come and make a presentation and tell the public why they are coming. And I am asking the governor why you need to pay PR people if they don't do PR. I mean, if they don't refuse to come and talk to the residents that they are supposed to do, what's the use of paying so many people to do that? So it's been a very frustrating experience for me, and unfortunately, I can't give any timeline or any guidance as to when we will know what's wrong with the bridge. I mean, the bottom line is 4 months in, we still don't know what's wrong with the bridge. They haven't even told us what's wrong with the bridge. They haven't finished examining the bridge 4 months in. So it's not for lack of trying on the part of either me or council members that this has happened. And at this point, anybody is free to do anything. I'm not holding anybody back. If somebody wants to go and yell at Amtrak, be my guest. I have no problem with that. So that's my update.
Mayor Allison had a question on the affordable housing law.
Yeah, we did get the memo, and we just had a closed session with Jerry. The ordinance that we are introducing today, voting on next meeting or 2 weeks, 2 meetings from now, that covers the concerns that the Affordable Housing Committee has expressed. And as I explained, we have a very high affordable housing percentage, 25%. Some developers have started grabbing about it, complaining about it. So me or future mayors need some flexibility in order to accommodate and make sure we get our 25% set aside.
Okay, thank you. Moving on from mayor to council comments, Joe?
Yeah, just a few brief comments. I wanted to say thanks to the Princeton Youth Leadership Program for inviting the mayor and Andrea and I to speak on a Saturday morning to their students about how local government works. A lot of great group of students asked a lot of great questions. So thank you to the school there. Dan, I just want to say thanks for reading the colon cancer proclamation. My father died of colon cancer a long time ago, so it is a personal item to me. And I would just really echo your thoughts on encouraging everybody to get screened, early and often. Regarding the Clarksville Road Bridge, like the mayor said, a lot of people have been working hard on this issue. Amtrak and NJDOT were invited to come here again tonight. They're not here. It's becoming clear that, unless we get the governor to declare a state of emergency, that the DOT and Amtrak are going to continue to drag their feet. So I think that should be everybody's focus and goal right now. Thank you to those who have written letters to the governor's office or other elected officials and made phone calls. If you've already called the governor's office, I would encourage you, call again and encourage your friends to do so, because I think that needs to be the goal at this point. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Dan?
Yes, thank you. Thank you to our clerk's office, Allison in particular, for all the work that she did regarding the redistricting that the mayor brought up. And thank you, Mayor, for your support on that. It was a fascinating experience watching this weird communication between the County Board of Elections and our offices and what should be sent to the public and what shouldn't be sent to the public. I'm still gathering my thoughts of how to ultimately respond to that. But the outcome that we wanted, we got. So that's actually the most important thing. So thank you again for your support there. I want to just also address Allison's question about the interdispersed and dispersed language. We are passing six ordinances are up for adoption tonight, specific seven for the affordable housing.
It's one of them.
Yes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, redistricting, one general, I'm sorry, 7 redistricting.
So each one is for a separate area that new affordable housing units are projected to be built. All of those ordinances have already been sort of reviewed and approved and accepted through court review. So we're very hesitant of making any minor adjustments and resulting in having to start all over there. But the good news is that there's another ordinance, which is sort of an umbrella ordinance being introduced tonight that effectively is an update of our uniform housing affordability controls. And that will include the language that you're referring to. And lastly, Clarksville Road Bridge. So I'm at the risk of dumping on there. Last week, I sent a letter to our Senator Shirley Turner requesting legislative oversight of the NJ Department of Transportation's handling of this matter. In that letter, I asked the senator to request a detailed accounting from NJDOT regarding how this project is actually being managed. Specifically, I asked that NJDOT be required to provide a detailed remediation strategy for the bridge, a defined timeline for both short-term stabilization and long-term repair, a milestone-based project schedule so the public can understand progress, a clear explanation of coordination with Amtrak and how those barriers are being addressed, and an assessment of whether temporary stabilization or partial traffic restoration options are even being considered. The concern is that despite months of disruption, NJDOT has not yet provided several fundamental elements of project planning that would normally accompany a critical infrastructure failure. At present, we still don't have a published remediation plan. We don't have a short-term traffic restoration strategy. We don't have a milestone-based project schedule or clear communication regarding potential interim solutions to restore limited access. Given the public safety and economic impacts, I felt it was appropriate to request legislative oversight to ensure NJDOT provides greater transparency and accountability moving forward. In response to my request, which was last week, at the end of the week or about a week later, Senator Turner informed me that she has written directly to Priya Jain, who is the acting commissioner of the NJDOT, requesting a detailed update on the department's remediation strategy and timeline. Her letter specifically asks NJDOT to clarify the status of the inspections, the anticipated schedule for structural analysis, and whether temporary stabilization or partial traffic restoration options are being considered. In addition, Senator Turner also reached out to NJ Transit President and CEO Chris Calori to explore whether NJ Transit can assist in coordinating with Amtrak to help expedite the inspection and repair process. The senator also emphasized the importance of ensuring greater transparency from NJDOT regarding its plan to address this matter and indicated that she will keep us informed as soon as she receives a response from NJDOT. So thank you to the senator for continued engagement. We have to just continue a full court press with NJDOT. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Linda?
Yeah, I've also spoken with Senator Turner, had a very good conversation, and she's 100% behind us, behind the township, and working to get DOT to sort of ramp up the timelines for decision making, because it seems to be like it's going at a snail's pace, and we have a crisis here. It's also in contact with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman's office, and they are also in contact with the governor's office. The county is supporting us. County Executive Dan Benson and the county commissioners passed a resolution in support of having the governor declare a state of emergency. So a lot of focus right now in trying to get the governor's office to come out here. I invited her, told the office, come out here. We'll give her, she can take a look at the bridge and see the structural deterioration there. Also maybe talk with some business owners there that are really, really hurting, and also emphasize that emergency services responses have been slowed greatly. So we are in a crisis mode here, and we are reaching out to everybody, and all the council members and the mayor have been doing that for months here. Okay, so the snow has melted, and the spring cleanup has begun. So if you have any yard debris, please do not put it in the bike lanes, and clear the storm drains of debris and any garbage too. Council budget deliberations will be on March 11th, 17th, and 19th. So please attend or watch live on YouTube and let us know your thoughts. The 2026 budget materials are on the township's website. Lions Club Easter Egg Hunt is on Saturday, March 28th at 9:45 a.m. at Community Park. The Easter Bunny will make an appearance for pictures. It's always a fun time. We get hundreds of residents, school kids from the West Windsor Plainsboro district and others, attending private school too. And they come out and they have a lot of fun. Once they say go for those Easter eggs, they're gone in like a few minutes. So get there on time. Recommended time 9:45 a.m. March 28th at Community Park. Thanks.
I stood in front of those kids telling them they can't go yet, and I'll tell you, that was a challenge.
I also want to thank on Clarksville Road Bridge, Sonia Gawas, our council president, and Andrea Mandel, because they worked for days in putting together that package that went out to state representatives, elected officials, DOT, and a whole long list of people. So thank you for that very, very hard work, and thank you to Allison and Joey in your office too for the help. That was a big push, and I think we nailed it in terms of making everyone understand what the urgency is and what the problems are. Thank you.
Thank you. One interesting thing is I see DOT had a college student contest where they were engineering students, and they had to go through a whole process of coming up with what's the plan and how you lay out a whole plan for an engineering project. And apparently maybe they should hire some of those kids that won or something to do that. I've been enjoying the celebrations and events for Purim, Holi, Ramadan, and Chinese New Year, and I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, Passover, and Easter, as these are coming up during a busy month. On February 28th, along with Hemant and Joe, as Joe mentioned, I spoke and answered questions at the Princeton Youth Leadership Council about leadership service and the preparations the students can make for the future. And I'm glad to see so many students anxious to take a leadership role in government and society. On January 26th and 27th, I attended the Watershed Institute's annual conference. There were several interesting presentations, examples of unique stormwater handling systems in urban and suburban environments, and the opportunity to speak to experts in the top DEP staff. So I'm going to have Mayor, all kinds of nice stormwater thoughts and stuff like that. So you'll have to put up with that. Getting to the bridge, which seems to have been taking everybody's life right now. At our last meeting, we passed 2026 R051 resolution petitioning Governor Mikey Sherrill to declare a state of emergency for the Clarksville Road corridor. In it, we asked for the following actions. For her to intercession with the federal government for Amtrak, for emergency procurement and reduction of bureaucratic procedures within New Jersey, specifically for DOT, economic assistance for the Clarksville Road businesses through the EDA, which Sonia and I have been working very constantly with the businesses and the EDA to try to help out, and for the expedited bridge replacement, New Jersey DOT. Council President Sonia Gauss and I, along with Allison in the clerk's office, spent many hours putting together this final packet to go to the governor and the distribution list after we spent, and as others did, a number of weeks contacting various other towns, the county, and everybody in order to get all the resolutions and letters and things that went into that packet. Last Monday, we spent the entire day finishing up the cover letter and 15 backup letters, resolutions, and a petition from elected officials, staff, and residents. The resulting document was sent and it's on the website. We have gotten many comments on how incredibly thorough it is. So if anybody wants to go on the website, take a look, get some idea of who we've sent all these things. There's a cover letter that describes everything that's in it. And we've distributed this letter all over. A few top people like the governor got a nice printed booklet in addition to email. I want to thank everybody who helped contribute. It's now the time to make this happen. Recent emails from the New Jersey DOT have made clear how important it is to get this state of emergency. Their last email says it'll be another month to do inspections and then several more months to do the analysis before we can even see any of these options that we're talking about. The mayor requested again that they come to council. They said they had nothing new. I got kind of trying to think of a polite word to say about that when I saw it. So I immediately wrote back to them that this lack of information was unacceptable, that council, the public, and our businesses are frustrated, and that I would give them the opportunity to present their case at our meeting tonight. They're apparently not interested, as I have not heard back from them. So I'm hoping that Governor Sherrill will have better luck with the DOT and we'll be able to get this on the move. They've written back saying they understand how important it is and things like that. They've talked about safety. Well, what about the safety of the people in our town? The accident rates, if you read our packet, the accident rates have been going up in certain areas because of the need for the traffic to go elsewhere. The fire call that the mayor mentioned took longer to get to because of the bridge closure. Apparently they think it's important, but it's not moving to the front of the line. And so any help that anybody can do to make this state of emergency happen, we've put everything together that exists from all over. We've got tremendous support. We've got great support from the county. I think it's going to happen, but anybody wants to do any pushing on their side, please do so. Thank you. And I guess with that, Allison, do you have any comments from the clerk's office?
Just mirroring what the mayor said, the Board of Elections is having a meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, March 10th at 1 p.m. At this meeting, the board will review the election district map for West Windsor Township and related data and will take formal action to revise district boundaries in accordance with Title 19 of the New Jersey statutes. The members of the public may attend and comment. And this does not affect the deadline for Democratic County Committee petitions that are due to the clerk's office by 4 p.m. on Monday, March 23rd.
How's that going to work?
It's going to be 2 weeks of of organizing.
Okay. Thank you. One comment I do have is we are nonpartisan and there should be some system where not just the parties or the mayor gets notified about these kinds of changes, but that, not just the council, just because we're nonpartisan, it doesn't mean others, but that this become a much more public system where everybody gets to see the maps, and anyone who does have any issues that might be in office or wanting to run for office has some opportunity to comment. I feel somehow we're only worrying about two parties, and that's not the way it is. And in our town in particular, that's not the way it is. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox with that.
I mean, they won't even let the parties see it. I mean, they had their way, even the parties won't.
Officially.
Have seen it. Officially.
Officially, they
I mean,
wouldn't let.
I told her to call both Republican and Democratic chair to see the map. That's how it happened.
Okay, and I'm glad that happened, but I think it needs to go beyond that.
It's more unaffiliates in town, I think, than
Right.
Democrats and
That's-
Republicans.
Yeah.
Separately. So, and in the end, it's the Board of Elections that has it's their say for the election district maps.
Thank you for all your work on that. And, I'm glad to hear that they were willing to listen to
They
reason.
did take my suggestion, so yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving into the public hearings on the ordinances now.
Public hearing 2026-02. Ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by amending the bulk and use standards in the B2A district and the schedule of off-street parking requirements.
Okay, I'm now going to open the public hearing for those who don't understand. This is the quote car wash ordinance. So anybody that was interested in that, I think Allison, you had a list of people who were here to speak on car wash. If you want, we can go with the
Yeah.
list first,
Down the
and
list.
then we'll open it up to anybody who hasn't signed up. So anybody who wants to speak should get a chance. Thank you.
Okay, well, next is Mike, so.
Andrea.
Oh, I'm sorry, the
you
first,
need to move in second.
I'm
first.
sorry, the first on the list was
No,
Terza.
the hearing comes first.
Okay, Terza next.
Good evening. Mike Baki, 8 Priory Road. I've lived at Priory Road just off of Southfield Road since August of 2008. I'm not a big math guy, but that's 6,429 days in one way, shape, or form, driving past that dilapidated eyesore that is on the corner of Southfield and 571. My understanding that property has been a blight since long before then. One of the things that I've heard is, environmental issues related to the car wash. Car washes just in the state of New Jersey and anywhere else have to adhere to EPA guidelines regarding water reclamation, the New Jersey DEP, pollutant discharge and elimination system permits. So in my mind, there's no environmental issues. That's why we have regulations. My understanding is that the current zoning already allows a car wash as an accessory use. So adding a primary use for a car wash isn't a big leap. For me, it's no leap at all. The current use of this site is a bad use. It is an eyesore. It provides this township with nothing. It's an embarrassment. The other corners of the intersection are commercial and retail. These are complementary uses to the other businesses that are presently operating there. To conclude, in my opinion, the car wash is a good use. Is it perfect? No, nothing is perfect. But my request tonight and my hope is that the township will use common sense and not allow perfect to be the enemy of the good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, Terza. Norman.
Teresa Warman, 5 Stoneleigh Drive. I'm here in opposition to the proposed rezoning. I don't think this is a better alternative use. I understand, and I've lived in town over 20 years, and I can't count the number of times I've driven by this particular property because I'm one of McCaffrey's favorite customers, so I'm very familiar with that site. And I am just thinking out loud, why isn't there soft power that our mayor and council can use here to attract a better use than a car wash? This would be the third car wash in town. There's one by Market Fair, and there's one just down the road on 571. Princeton and Plainsboro have 0 car washes. It is not an attractive use. That could be passive recreation. It could be other homes. There are alternatives that are far better. And yes, Mike is right. DEP does regulate how car washes are maintained. And, but the fact is that they create more stormwater runoff than the average use. So there will be negative environmental impacts, and that should be weighed. And so again, I would implore the council to think about the soft power that they could use with the owner of the site to not bring a third car wash into town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have anyone else signed up?
Kevin Renala?
Hi, Kevin Rinaldo, 106 Harris Road. I'm here tonight to voice my objection to the proposed ordinance that would allow for the prospective car wash. I want to start by saying this isn't opposition for opposition's sake. I'm speaking as a resident who cares about the direction of our town or where the direction of our town is heading, because I believe that we can do better when it comes to the type of businesses we bring to West Windsor. As a 50+ year resident of West Windsor, I've seen how much the town has grown and changed. Growth and change are natural and in many ways very positive, but every development we approve shapes the character of our community. And I think it's important to ask one simple question: does this project add meaningful value to our town? In my opinion, a car wash doesn't really add much to the community. It's transactional business. People visit briefly and leave. It doesn't create a gathering place. It doesn't contribute to the social fabric of town, and it doesn't really enhance the character of the area. Over the past few years alone, the town has approved 4 daycare or child development centers, 3 of them roughly within a quarter mile of each other. While those businesses certainly serve as an important purpose, it highlights a larger issue. We seem to be approving the same types of uses rather than encouraging a broader mix of small community focused businesses that make our town more vibrant. This is an opportunity to think a little bigger about what we want in West Windsor. This site was originally approved for a restaurant. Why not hold to that vision? Something like a deli, a cafe, or even a small microbrewery could become a place where residents gather, meet neighbors, and contribute to a stronger sense of community. Before approving something like this, I would simply ask the council to consider whether a car wash is really the best term long use, or best long use term. Sorry. For what may be one of the few remaining commercial opportunities in this part of town. This proposal won't ruin our town, but it also won't move us forward. West Windsor is a great community, and we deserve development that adds real value, creates places where people actually want to spend time, because at the end of the day, we can do better, and as residents of this town, we deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else on the
resident at 6 Dogwood? Sorry. Please state your name.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, Mayor, members of Township Council, and fellow residents. My name is Pankaj Patel, and I'm a 20+ year resident of West Windsor. I'm here this evening to respectfully urge the council to approve the proposed rezoning ordinance that would allow a standalone car wash on the triangular parcel at Route 571 and Southfield Road, across from McCaffrey's Market. This site was previously approved for a gas station, convenience store, and a drive-through restaurant, and it is appropriately zoned for commercial use within the B-2A neighborhood center district. Allowing a car wash as a principal use is consistent with the commercial character of this busy control and complements the planned development on the property. Modern car wash, as other people have mentioned, facilities are very different from older ones. When you think about car wash, you think about, environmental issues, but no more. They are designed with advanced water reclamation systems, higher efficiency equipment, and pollution controls that significantly reduce environmental impact. They recycle the majority of the water used, reduce demand on municipal system, and use biodegradable, environmentally responsible detergents when properly designed and maintained. Also, I want to highlight that this allows Township to meet growing demand without expanding development into new areas by concentrating commercial activity where it is already planned and appropriate. A well-operated car wash would provide local employment opportunities, contribute to the township's tax base, and offer a convenient service for residents who value time-efficient vehicle maintenance. While West Windsor already has 2 car washes, a third facility in this strategic location integrated with complementary uses would enhance service options without oversaturating the market or placing undue strain on traffic, particularly given the site access to Route 571. West Windsor has long demonstrated committed to balanced, thoughtful growth that supports both economic vitality and quality of life. Approving this rezoning represents a pragmatic step in that direction by allowing appropriate commercial development on a parcel well suited for such case. For these reasons, I respectfully request that council vote in favor for this ordinance. Thank you for your time and your consideration and for your service to our community.
Thank you. Allison, anybody more on the list?
Deborah?
Head down.
Yeah.
Deborah Margolis, 149 Tulip Flower. So with regards to the car wash, for people that aren't acquainted with the original permitted uses of a B2A district, which is considered a neighborhood / business, neighborhood, emphasis on neighborhood. Permitted uses were stores or shops for the conduct of any retail business, including curbside pickup for the sale of items and otherwise permitted in this section. Personal service establishment, such as tailor, barbershop, beauty salon. Offices for professional medical services, such as physicians, lawyers, or architects. That would be nice. Commercial offices, realtors or travel agencies, and offices incidental to uses permitted in this subsection. Restaurants and neighborhood taverns, including curbside pickup and drive-through establishments. Fast food operations with or without drive-through, and 2 more. Branch banks with or without drive-throughs, and gasoline service stations in conjunction with a convenience store. So after the planning board hearing, number 8, car washes. Not car washes as an accessory to a gas station, but car washes, standalone car wash. I think that what's existing in that area now, which is what everybody refers to as the McCaffrey Shopping Center. There's a real name for it, but I don't know what it is. We all call it McCaffrey's. And it's very tastefully done. It's certainly neighborhood friendly. It provides services that the neighborhood needs. And to put a car wash across the street from that, I think would so detract. It's as though we're going, you know, the lowest common denominator just to put something and get rid of those ugly buildings that are there. I just don't think it's the way that this beautiful town is supposed to go. So I want to go on record as being opposed to the standalone car wash. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else on the list? at
I
this
don't have anyone else on the list.
Okay, would anyone else like to get up and wish to speak? If you want to get up to speak, just come up to the microphone. And give your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Soumya Ghosh and 47 Saratoga Drive. Good evening, members of the council, Honorable Mayor, and everyone who's joined tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to speak regarding this proposal for the car wash. While I support responsible economic development, and you've heard this, that it's been an eyesore for many years, I would respectfully oppose this proposal because I strongly believe it does not align with long-term interests of character of West Windsor as a community. One of the things that residents value most is an identity of a community. Like when we compare ourselves to, towns, other towns in New Jersey, we see some common trends and patterns. Our neighborhoods and small businesses, in fact, look and feel of streets are important. Large commercial car washes introduce bright lighting, neon signs, constant vehicle traffic, and long queues of cars, which can be disruptive to that in that area. Over time, this development can make it feel like a commercial strip than a community with a distinct identity. Somebody mentioned, we already have multiple car washes. Do we need another one? Second, the environmental concerns, again, rightly said by multiple people, that deserve careful considerations, significant amount of water, wastewater, responsible management, etc. So, and I'm not going to go into the further details. These are things that can place additional strain on our resources. Thirdly, traffic congestion, particularly during peak hours and weekends, bridges being out, and increasing vehicles and traffic, long lines of vehicles waiting for service can spill onto the surrounding roads. That's not enough space, and which can create inconvenience and potential safety concerns. And finally, we should think long-term about our our space is valuable. That's the important word, and it should be ideally be used for businesses that contribute broadly to the community. Someone mentioned about where people can gather, people can actually mingle and communicate. Somebody mentioned cafes and other things. Places, essentially places that bring people together, support local entrepreneurship, and enhance the overall vitality of the town. A car wash is, I'm not sure if it brings the maximum tax revenue and brings the highest paying jobs or many jobs as such. Most of these car washes are highly automated. It appears that there are lesser economic benefits in the long term. So I respectfully ask the council to consider the long-term impact, considering the identity, quality of life in our town before approving this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Could I have you sign in on the sign-in sheet too?
Is there anybody else who'd like to get up and speak?
Pablo Brown, 5 Totten Court. Good evening, everybody. I'm here to talk about something truly controversial, cleaning cars. Now, you would think something like this is comparable to a nuclear reactor, or even worse, a warehouse in West Windsor. But I think it's still going to be okay. I heard that there are a lot of problems regarding traffic. And I just wanted to say that this is a car wash. It's not the Eiffel Tower. So there's not going to be tourists from all over the world coming to West Windsor just to see the cars being washed. Then we have already a lot of car washes all around West Windsor. And so to me, the traffic is actually people leaving West Windsor to get their car washed outside of the town. So the only traffic being built is really traffic because of the lack of car washes here. Oh yeah, so some people have been saying, we should find a better use for the site. Now, I've been here since 2014, and it's been sitting empty ever since. Maybe even, I don't know when. Hopefully it wasn't since 1870. Perhaps some people are holding out for a Gucci store or Louis Vuitton handbag boutique, but I don't think that's coming. Oh yeah, so people, there's a phrase in English that says, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. The application of that is a business in town is better than two imaginary ones. Then regarding the crime concerns, I read some stuff online from some articles saying that there could be crime. And I can already imagine some gangs congregating next to the Quick Check to plan heists over a hot dog. To me, the only crime is the crime of the site sitting empty. So then the second crime is actually that a car wash doesn't increase crime, it actually decreases grime on the cars. So I agree with people saying it's not a great use, but somebody is taking a chance and willing to use this site. So I'm not going to be a great customer for him because I don't think I'll use it much, but it's still the best thing that's happened in the last 12 years. So I'm in favor of giving it a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to get up and talk about this ordinance? Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
Yes. And now I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt.
Comment first?
No, we have to first and second before there's any comments. It has to be put on the table. And then, yes. Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt 2026-02.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we now have a second. Before we do council comment, I believe the mayor wanted to discuss the car wash and present it to us. The background on it. Thank you. If you watch, there should be some slides coming up on the TVs around.
Thanks, Andy. It's tough to follow you, Paul. I won't be that funny. And there's no nuclear waste there, that I can tell you. Thanks everyone who came to
Mayor,
comment.
Okay.
Going. Thanks everyone who came to comment on the B2A ordinance. As mayor for the last 8 years, I've generally followed the Nike rule. Just do it and people will see it. I've especially never spoken a lot about something as no-brainer as the B2A ordinance. For many years, even before I took office, residents in West Windsor have wanted to see the corner with the dilapidated houses on 571 and Southfield Road cleaned up. Somebody just talked about it. It took considerable legal effort just to get them boarded the property. We were excited when a plan was submitted that would not only clean up the area, but provide local amenities and tax income. Originally, a standalone restaurant was proposed for near Quick Check and a convenient gas station. The proposal has now been changed to a standalone car wash, requiring a slight change in zoning. This use is even better for West Windsor as it provides a useful amenity used by most residents and for environmental benefits. Many people are looking forward to this convenience. There were a few people who objected to the restaurant as they said it competed with local small restaurant businesses. They even went so far to scare local restaurant owners and tell them it would drive them out of business. Strangely, some of the same people are now complaining about the restaurants being replaced by a car wash and have urged others to object it. However, since some people are trying to make a federal issue out of a simple and logical change, let me address them, but more importantly, residents of West Windsor directly. I'm going to talk in about two parts. The first part is the technical issues addressing the concerns expressed, and I'll respectfully suggest that people who complain about them haven't done their homework. Second, a bigger issue with the residents of West Windsor on what type of community do we really want? One proposed by my critics or my vision for West Windsor? I don't remember last time I used PowerPoints. I'm not in tech world. So please don't judge me by the presentation of the quality of the slides, but rather the content of presentation. So I'm going to talk about the B2A districts, and I'll go fast since a lot of people have talked about it. I'll concern the three concerns have been expressed: traffic, noise, and environment. And as I said respectfully, people expressing those concerns haven't done their simple homework. And then the quality of objections. B2A district was created out of P1 for specific sites at this intersection of 571 and Southfield Road when we did our master plan just a few years ago. In 2013, the planning board had already given an approval for a gas station and a drive-through restaurant at this location in question. The current zoning allows a car wash as an accessory use, and I am requesting the council to make it a primary use. To me, as someone with English not as a first language, accessory use is something that's complementary. And in my mind, a car wash is complementary to a gas station. According to the law, accessory means they have to be owned by the same owners. And that's the only reason we need this ordinance. If Quick Check was doing the car wash, they didn't have to come here. It would be considered an accessory use, and that would be allowed. As I mentioned, in 2013, the zoning board did grant a variance to a Valero gas station that's diagonally across to build a car wash. They didn't build it for various reasons, but a zoning variance was approved. What we are asking for is less is better for township than a zoning variance. Just for those who are uninitiated, a zoning variance is permanent, it's in perpetuity. As long as the person, they can change owners, as long as the use is in use, there's nothing the township can do. The zoning change which I am requesting is temporary. A future mayor or council can rezone the property if they feel necessary. So what we are asking is a better version for township than if I just told them to go to the zoning board and just tell the zoning board, do the same thing you did in 2013. And the zoning board will have a hard time to say no to them since they said yes to somebody right at that intersection, right at that time. The planning board did review the attached ordinance and did find it in compliance with the master plan which was done just a few years ago and which envisioned how this intersection, which is an entirely commercial intersection, there's no residential at that intersection, would be used. There are three concerns raised. One is traffic, one is noise, and one is environmental impact. And I'm going to talk about each one of them separately. Traffic, when the drive-through restaurant was proposed, the developer had to come to the planning board and he did present the data for a drive-through restaurant. It's a little tricky to read it. In the morning rush, it says 204 cars. That's 204 cars in those 3 hours between 6 and 9 a.m. But the traffic study counts each car twice, once for coming in and once for going out. So if you look at the traffic study, it will say 102 in, 102 out. So it's roughly 34 cars per hour. Evening rush, about 25 cars per hour just for the drive-through restaurant. For the convenience store, the same traffic is 134 per hour and 116 per hour. Now, if there's a car wash, then some of those convenience store people would also go get a gas and go and do the car wash. When the developer, if the council approves this ordinance today, the developer will have to come to the planning board with a study of traffic as to what they can do, what traffic would be generated by the car wash. Generally, a car wash will generate less traffic than drive-through restaurant. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. Now there are wonderful resources such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Cloud, Grok, whatever is your preference, you can go and check with them and just simply ask the questions, what will contribute more traffic, a car wash or a drive-through restaurant? And you will see that an overall added traffic to the road system will be much higher for a drive-through restaurant, and God forbid it's something like Taco Bell, it would be so much higher than a car wash restaurant. A car wash may have a longer queue, may make appear busier, but if you are counting the number of trips, if you are worried about traffic, a drive-through restaurant will definitely generate a lot more traffic than this thing. And again, some of you can come to I'm sure some of you will come to the planning board hearing when the plan comes to the planning board, and you can see for yourself. I've already given you the data for drive-through restaurant. Noise concerns. The second item was noise. During the last 2 years, a lot of applications coming to the planning board express concerns about noise. So I decided to hire our own noise experts. We have a noise expert on retainer who examines every application, not just this, for noise studies that the developer submits. So again, when this application comes to the planning board, the noise expert, they will have to do the noise study and show what the noise level will be at various sites around the car wash. Our own noise expert will look at that data and give opinion to the planning board as to whether that is good or bad. But again, if you ask your favorite AI engine, they will tell you that generally the highest noise level vacuum equipment at a commercial car wash is roughly about 85 decibel point. And just as a comparison, this is the decimal levels at various appliances you use at home. So a car wash is similar to somewhere between hair dryer and dishwasher or toilet flush. It's just that it's not inside your house. Sound is a science, so it's a lot easier because you can measure it. And again, you will see that sound drops roughly 6 decibels every 100 feet. You don't have to take my word for it. There's a car wash in Lawrenceville on Route 1. Just Google it and you will get a noise study done for that car wash that was presented to the Lawrenceville Planning Board. And that noise study will say that it will first verify that the noise level out of the vacuums there is roughly about 85, 90 decibels. And the noise level drops to acceptable levels roughly around the boundary of the car wash. If you don't find the study, just send me an email and I'll send you the copy of the study. Noise, the closest house from this car wash will be 751 feet away. 751 feet is more than twice 2 football fields. So by the time 80 decibels noise reaches the house, it will be lower than a computer fan in your computer. On top of that, the house is covered by berms and trees. So any comment about noise hasn't done their homework. It's not really a concern. Nobody nearby is going to be bothered by the noise. Environmental impact. This is one of the most amazing part, that people who are here, who claim to be environmentalists, are fighting so hard against the car wash. It's really amazing to see. Either stop calling yourself environmentalist or educate yourself. A car wash is 200 times better than washing the car at home by any standard. If you wash at home, you will use generally 100 gallons per wash. Car wash will use only 20 or 30 gallons per wash. The car wash, if you wash the car at home, it will end in a drinking water because the water goes down your storm drains, whereas car wash is required to clean the water and put it in sanitary sewers. So again, it's truly amazing to see people oppose this on environmental grounds. And you don't have to take my word for it. You go to the NJDEP website, and this is a picture directly from NJDEP website. Let me read it. It says, if you wash your car in your driveway, you may as well wash it in the lake. That's the lake where you get water from, right? So again, this is so much better for the environment. And I have a number of slides on this. I'll just quickly go through this. These are all from NJDEP website. None of the slides are generated by me. Simple search of NJDEP website would have convinced you not to make environment a big deal, a big issue in your fight. What's the problem with washing your car? This is the thing. Next slide. How can you help? Number one, take your car to a car washing facility rather than washing it yourself. Commercial car washes treat and recycle the water. Again, this is NJDEP website. And I will go through several requirements that a car wash has to follow in order to get approval in New Jersey. There's several regulations for commercial car washes, and I'm going to go through a lot of them very quickly. This is NJAC 714A. The next one, car washes must ensure all wash water is properly managed and does not illegally discharge into storm drains or surface ways. NJAC 714A25. Vehicle wash water is prohibited from being dumped into storm drains. It has to go in sanitary sewer, that too only after it's being cleaned. And again, they recycle most of their water. So very little water goes into the sanitary sewer, but it's still better for the environment. Water conservation, emergency and general. Again, very important point. God forbid there's a drought or shortage of water. The government can regulate the car washes. They can require them to use even less water, or in cases, close it or reduce the rinse cycle. Much better in case of drought situations. Again, they need treatment work improvers and air pollution requirements. I mean, these are just some of the requirements that NJDEP will require for the car wash to do. And if this is not enough, West Windsor falls in the Delaware-Raritan Canal Review Area, which means they will have to get a permit from Delaware and Raritan Canal Commission as well. So that's an additional requirement as on top of whatever NJDEP imposes on them. That's benefits to the community. It's environmentally better option than washing the car on the driveway. It's offering service that's currently not available. This is the list of car washes close by. Somebody who helped me get this data counted it from High School South. So you add 2 miles because it's 2 miles down the line. So the closest car wash is about 5 miles from where this car wash is. Again, as somebody pointed out, if you drive to get your car washed, that's additional traffic on the road, and that's not good for the environment. This location is surrounded by a lot of communities in West Windsor. This is where most of the development happened when we moved in town in early 90s. So a lot of houses close by. These people can use this car wash. If you are not a table person, if you are a visual person, this is a picture of where the closest car washes are. The purple hexagons are where the current car washes are, and the red hexagon is where the proposed car wash is on. So as you can see, we are not building a car wash next to a car wash. And this is something that's needed in that areas. This is something that is not available in that area. So this is what the thing is. This is essentially completes my so in conclusion, all the issues raised, traffic, noise, environmental impact, are bogus in the sense that you haven't done your homework. The proposed car wash provides a community service to the community that's lacking and is positive for the environment. I want to thank my friends who provided me with data for this presentation. I could not have done it all by myself. Thankfully, there are people in West Windsor who can sniff a nonsense when they see one and are willing to help for the betterment of community. So I just want to thank everybody who helped me put this presentation together. And when I did show this presentation to a couple of friends, they said, we should stop it here. But I want to talk about something more. As I said, starting this, I thought this was a no-brainer. I mean, this is not, like he said, this is not like we are trying to build a nuclear reactor or a data center that's being built just down the street in East Windsor. I've chewed up almost 18, 20 minutes of your life here. But since I've done that anyway, I want to take this to make a bigger point to the community as to what kind of community we want. One of the speakers came here and proudly said that Princeton and Plainsboro doesn't have a car wash. I don't think that's a matter of pride. I don't see any pride in that, oh, we don't have a car wash. There's nothing to be proud about that. This I already talked to you about. So when this ordinance was published, we get roughly about 20 emails. This is roughly the locations from where we got the emails. Again, 20 emails out of a population of 34,000. I'm sure those people will say the council voted in spite of overwhelming opposition. 20 emails out of 34,000 is not an overwhelming opposition. And as you can see, none of the emails are anywhere close to where the car wash is, and none of them will be affected. Somebody sent an email out, and in response to that email, it generated a lot of emails. These are very nice-minded people, nice people, well-meaning people. They didn't even bother to hide why they're sending the email. They sent us the original email, who asked them to send the email, and added their email on top of that email. So we knew how the emails were generated. But that's how this thing was generated. As somebody said, this site has been sitting vacant for many, many years. And people complain that these houses they wanted to be taken down. It took us a lot of effort to simply get them boarded down. And when I first proposed quick check, I just want to use this opportunity to talk to the community about what this is about. When I first proposed this, one of the council person who ran with Mr. Weiss's ticket posted this on the social media. And I'm not even going to dignify it by reading. But this is the kind of views that were used to oppose the proposal. People say it's not opposition for opposition's sake, but how many of you are opposing, supporting the views like this, which was used to oppose the quick check? And this is the same person who went around telling restaurants in town that, oh, they're opening a restaurant, you're going to go bankrupt, you go and fight and don't let them open a restaurant. That is the kind of nonsense I've been fighting for last 8 years. Recently, when again this thing came up, somebody who was one of the petitioners of turning town partisan emailed that car washes will generate only minimum wage jobs and won't help. Again, as I said, I don't take pride in the fact that we don't have car washes. That's nothing to be proud about. We have to decide what our values are. We do have a lot of people with high-end jobs. Princeton University is expanding the entire center in West Windsor. West Windsor has the only AI hub for state of New Jersey. That will generate a lot of jobs. In the Carnegie Center, there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies who are expanding so much that they came to the planning board to ask for more parking. So we do have a lot of high-end jobs. But I don't want to be known as a mayor of a town which says that, oh, we would like to have spas, but everybody working on the spa has to come from next town over. Those are not my values. And those are the kind of things that are being expressed in opposing to that we don't want car washes. They will only generate low values. Somebody has to do minimum wage job. And minimum wage job is a starting point to a higher job. A lot of people who started with minimum wage job ended with being CEOs and other places. So I really take very offense to some of the sentiments that are being expressed either openly or quietly in opposition to a car wash, and thumping your nose down as a car wash is somehow shameful to the town. I don't want to be known as a mayor of a town that thumps their nose at low-paying jobs. I do want high-paying jobs. I do want fancy restaurants, but I do want opportunity for everyone. The council will vote on affordable housing in the next 7 ordinances. We are one of the only towns in New Jersey which requires 25% affordable. If we are going to attract 25% affordable, those people need job too. And those people need job within commuting distance. And they need jobs in West Windsor. So I'm little offended. And if I see worked up, I'm really sorry, but it does mean something to me. It is an important issue for me as to what our values are and what we are going to do. So as I finish my presentation, it's almost 25 minutes. As I said, I chewed up 25 minutes of your time. If I did chew it up only to talk about B2A ordinance, it's a wasted time. But if I made you think about what type of community you want, then it's a useful 25 minutes I've wasted. If I makes you question opposition for opposition's sake, next time you get an email saying that, oh, mayor is proposing this, just send an email saying that you don't like it and these are the reasons you should list why you don't like it. If it makes you think that, then these 25 minutes are well spent. And I'm not generally a type of person who does all these long presentations. I hate doing that. But this time I decided to do it because what I see didn't make me happy. It's not the West Windsor I want to be known for. And I just want to give council thanks for the opportunity to make this presentation. And I'll be happy to answer any questions from the council members regarding this ordinance, if they so have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me go through council people, see anything. Linda, did you want to say anything?
Sure. I mean, some of my comments will mirror what the mayor just said, but I'll say them anyway. The planning board on February 18th reviewed the proposed ordinance 2026-02 and determined and voted that it is consistent with the master plan. Now, before that vote, the planning board attorney Jerry Mueller did say that the proposed ordinance, in his opinion, is in compliance with the master plan. If the amended ordinance is approved tonight, the planning board will thoroughly review many of the issues raised tonight during an application hearing. Many issues such as environmental impacts, noise, traffic, etc., will be discussed after reviewing the professionals' reports and taking public comment. Conditions such as DEP approvals and other agencies approvals are usually made as part of the planning board's approval. So that's pretty much routine. I've been on the planning board, I believe this year is my 10th year. So I'm familiar with the process. We always look out for the neighbors of the property, particularly residential neighbors. And there's all sorts of things that can be done if there's support. There can be berms, there can be fences on top of berms and fences and all hours of operation, all sorts of things get looked at. Tonight, this is just regarding adding a use to the zoning. It's not any part of an application. It just allows for a car wash. They could turn around tomorrow and say, we don't want to bring a car wash in. So that's what we're doing tonight. This district already has commercial auto uses with the approved gas station and quick check. The car wash will dovetail with that use for consolidation into a cohesive design. So it's going to, way I envision it and way I think it's going to happen, it's going to be, the gas station, the quick check, and then the car wash. All sorts of things about how this car wash is going to look. The design of it certainly will be reviewed. I mean, we have a car wash in West Windsor out on Route 1. I'm not really counting the one at the Shell station as a second one. Technically it is, but it's attached to the Shell station. And I hardly ever see anyone using that. But it exists, but it's not exactly what most of us think of as a big operating car wash. So it's been decades of looking at those dilapidated houses there. I've been here 31 years, so it has been a long time. And the zoning does allow other things to come in, but they just haven't come in over the years. Another place to sit and eat and talk and all. We have Grover's Mill Coffee House, we have McCaffrey's, all the restaurants, everything that's there is already there. If the amended ordinance is approved, the site will attract more services at a convenient location in an area that already has retail and commercial businesses.
Thank you, Linda. Dan, did you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you. I would like to explain the basis for my opposition to ordinance 2026-02, which proposes to amend the BA2 neighborhood center zoning district to allow a car wash as a permitted principal use. Under the New Jersey municipal land use law, zoning ordinances are intended to implement the policies expressed in the municipality's master plan. When a zoning change is proposed, the planning board is required to review it and advise the governing body as to whether the ordinance is substantially consistent with that plan. So here, the planning board has adopted a resolution stating that this ordinance is substantially consistent with the master plan. However, after reviewing both the ordinance and the planning board discussion, I remain concerned that the key issue of master plan consistency has not been meaningfully addressed. The master plan is quite specific on this point. In the description of B2A neighborhood center district, it states that car washes are recommended only as an accessory use to a gasoline service station. In zoning, accessory use has a well-established meaning. It refers to a use that is subordinate and incidental to a principal use. The ordinance before us does something materially different. It would add car washes as a permitted principal use in the district. This is not a minor adjustment. It is a clear expansion beyond what the master plan envisioned. Equally important is the overall intent of the B2 district itself. The master plan describes it as a neighborhood center designed to support small-scale retail and service businesses that serve the surrounding community. The concept is oriented towards neighborhood-serving establishments and people-focused services. A standalone automated car wash with stacking lanes and high vehicle turnover and supporting equipment such as vacuum stations is fundamentally a vehicle-oriented commercial use. Those differences go directly to the planning intent of the district. At the planning board meeting, questions were raised as to how this change could be considered substantially consistent with the master plan. However, the board's discussion did not provide a clear planning rationale explaining why elevating car washes from accessory use to principal use remains consistent with the adopted land use vision. Furthermore, no rationale was provided to address how a car wash is consistent with a neighborhood business center. Now, while substantial consistency does allow some flexibility, it does not mean that clear and explicit language in the master plan can simply be disregarded without explanation. If the township believes that the land use vision for this area should change, and they rightfully have the ability to have that opinion and make the change, there is a straightforward and transparent way to do that. The township can amend the master plan to reflect that new policy direction. That process allows for a full planning analysis and a public discussion about how the change fits within the township's long-term land use goals. So making a zoning change that appears to contradict the master plan without first updating the plan itself risks undermining the integrity of the planning process. It also increases the potential for legal challenge based on inconsistency with the framework established under the municipal land use law. And so for these reasons, I believe that this ordinance represents a substantial departure from the master plan and should not be adopted in its current form without first updating the master plan. And so accordingly, I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Joe?
Yeah, so one thing I just want to make sure is clear is that the issue before council today is whether we will allow a car wash in lieu of a drive-through restaurant, right? That is the sole issue that's before the council. The mayor gave some of the background, but as people have noted, this property has had several dilapidated, boarded up houses that have been vacant for decades. They're in a complete eyesore. The other three corners are all commercial properties. You've got the CVS Shopping Center, Valero Gas Station, and McCaffrey Shopping Center. Property is currently zoned for commercial use. There's no homes in the immediate vicinity. The redevelopment plan from years ago included a convenience store, gas station, and a drive-through restaurant. So again, the only change is to allow a car wash instead of the drive-through. And I was at the planning board meeting from a couple of weeks ago where this issue was discussed, I'd say fairly extensively with the planning board and the planning board's outside advisors. And the planning board attorney clearly explained why the change is consistent with the master plan. He's a very experienced attorney. I think he's been practicing land use law since the late 1970s. And he clearly explained it. Anyone who wants to can go and watch the video of that meeting. So again, the question is a car wash versus a drive-through. When you look at, all right, are there pros and cons? You look at the hours that they're open, right? A car wash is going to close earlier than a drive-through, right? Most car washes close around 5, 6 p.m. There's going to be less traffic, because of shorter closing time, and the mayor provided a little bit of information on traffic, but I don't know that there'll be much of a difference. Frankly, these aren't the types of businesses where people go out of their way to commute long distances to go to either a fast food restaurant or a car wash. Some people won't even cross, the side of the road from one to the other to pull into a gas station. So I don't see traffic as a significant issue, again, comparing the car wash to the drive-through. With respect to noise, There's farmland behind it. There's no houses for over a football field's length away. So I don't see noise being an issue. With respect to environmental concerns, a modern car wash is way more environmentally friendly than washing your car in your driveway. When you wash your car at home, all the runoff of oil, brake dust, other things goes down your driveway into storm sewers and local water systems. I won't repeat it again since the mayor took some of my quotes from the NJDEP website, but NJ's Department of Environmental Protection tells you to go wash your car at a car wash and not your driveway because it's much more environmentally friendly. When we look at this piece of land, I would also say, can we apply some common sense and look at this piece of land, right? I don't know how many people have actually gone to drive around it, but it's an irregular triangle-shaped property with a small road that runs behind it. All the other three corners are commercial properties. This is a small piece of land, so there's limited uses for it. It's a car-centric intersection. It's not an area that's suitable for a park or some sort of gathering place. It's a bad place for housing, as clearly evidenced by houses being abandoned for decades on this land. It's a terrible place for retail shopping. No business person in their right mind would open a small retail shop on this site, especially when there's already vacant space right across the street next to McCaffrey's. There's already a quick check that would be built on the site, so it's actually a logical place for a car wash. People can combine a trip to the supermarket or drugstore and get their car washed at the same time. Basic economic principles in supply and demand influence what businesses want to operate in any particular site, not what the government tries to tell them to do. Regarding employment, I've also seen some of the comments made by some that said these would be, quote, low-wage jobs, somehow considered unfit for West Windsor. There's a clear element of elitist snobbery in that thinking. Just about every type of business relies to some extent on lower wage workers. When I was 16, I was working evenings and weekends in a supermarket for barely above minimum wage so I could afford a cheap used car and put gas in it. So I do have some thoughts for anyone who chooses to engage in that form of elitism, but I'll keep those thoughts to myself. So just back to the question at hand. The question before the council is whether or not to change from a drive-through to a car wash. Not a landfill, not a garbage incinerator, not a toxic waste dump, not a nuclear power plant or a data center, a car wash. When I ask people about this topic, the most common response I get is, what's wrong with a car wash? Why is this even a big deal? Frankly, I think it's a pretty simple and clear decision for the council to make. There's no logical reason for the council to vote against this minor zoning change. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, I know I'm in last place, so I didn't write a whole speech here, but I'm going to answer, try not to repeat. I know there was one question about the master plan. A master plan is not an ordinance. A master plan doesn't list every possible use the way an ordinance would. Car wash is probably about the closest thing that isn't specifically listed, a standalone car wash. Car wash is listed, so that's already in there. And gas stations are listed, so we kind of know that this is going to be a corner that's going to service cars. And there's even, in terms of the restaurant, it's a drive-through restaurant. So we have a combination of just about every little piece that goes there, the drive-through, the fact that it's really, we're talking about servicing cars, and the fact that it's a car wash. And those are all in this master plan. So unless you're going to make a master plan stricter than an actual zoning ordinance, I don't know how much closer you could get to having a master plan that matches what we're doing here. The other thing is, this is supposed to be something that services the neighborhood. When if we were building a data center, I could see people saying, why do you want to put a data center here? We could, those could be built anywhere. And why, we're not going to use all that data here. I don't know how much AI everybody's doing in their basements, but in this particular case, we're actually putting something in an area. Most people here have cars. Most people here have 2 cars. I mean, I walk around, I see 3 or 4 cars and I don't even know who's using them in people's driveways. And very few people wash their own cars, which we've already seen is environmentally not the right thing to do. So providing a localized car wash to people who are already there, getting gas, going for their groceries across the street, stopping at CVS, which has its own drive-through for their prescriptions and their toiletries, to go get their car washed at the same time is a great convenience. It's something that people in our town can actually use. So it is come under that as a neighborhood item there. So, and it's not, as everybody, as several people have mentioned, this isn't the Eiffel Tower that's going to get thousands of visitors to it. This isn't a nuclear power plant that's going to give off all, kinds of waste that we don't know what to do with. This is essentially a modern car wash. The water will be recirculated. I'm full aware because I've read the DEP. I even spoke to somebody at the DEP. The water is not 100% recirculated, but the water that isn't recirculated does not go into the stormwater runoff. It goes into our sanitary sewer, and it is cleaned before that, and there are all forms and methods of having various solids, toxic waste, if certain materials are actually treated as toxic, if it comes out and it has to be disposed of properly. It's probably one of the highest regulated types of things where, as far as what might be in that area, that's really not super dangerous, but because of all of the DEP and the concerns with stormwater, it does have extremely high regulation to it. So I'm kind of strange that I'm sitting here, and the mayor just spent 25 minutes and talking about something like a simple car wash on an industrial commercial corner, but that's where we are. So I have no problem with it. I'm actually looking forward to it. I don't like to go out of my way for anything. I drive electric car and I don't have to go get gas, and that thrills me. And having this car wash there, I may actually go and wash my car every so often. So I'm kind of looking forward for it coming into the neighborhood. And that's that. Does anyone have any other comments on the council at this point? No, everybody's done. Okay, then Allison, can you call the roll on
Roll call.
26-02? Thank you.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes,
Weiss,
No.
Gauss.
thank you. Motion is approved.
Okay, 2026-03, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the R5E zoning district 200-189.4.
And by the way, I'm going to open up the public hearing. There are different ordinances here, so if you wish to speak on a particular zoning ordinance, then you have to get up for that specific zoning ordinance to speak about it. Okay. Is there anybody that wishes to speak on this ordinance? This is 2026-03. I believe from what you mentioned that you're interested on the Alexander Road Opal. I believe that one is ordinance 2026-05. Mayor, do you want to? It's the ordinance that was it's not in the book that way. That's right. You want the 05, okay? Yes. That particular book doesn't have, we didn't have the zoning numbers yet when that book was written, so I had to go look up I did go look up what the block and lots were, and 05 was the one that worked. Yeah. Okay. All right, so does anybody wish to speak on 2026-03 at this point? No? Seeing none, I'm going to ask ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
Okay, and can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Does anybody wish to discuss this ordinance?
I just want to make a general comment, to explain my vote in favor of this ordinance, and I'm not going to do this 7 times. I'm just gonna do this once. I just want to acknowledge the substantial work that has gone into the township's housing element and fair share plan. Affordable housing compliance in New Jersey is incredibly complex, and I appreciate the work of the mayor, of our staff, of professionals and volunteers on the Affordable Housing Committee, and the many residents who have engaged in the process. As everybody understands here, West Windsor is operating within a court-directed framework to address our 4th round of affordable housing obligations of 480 units. And the court has made it clear that municipalities must adopt the implementing ordinances by mid-March in order to maintain protection from exclusionary zoning litigation. So if we fail to do so, the township risks losing its immunity from builders' remedy lawsuits, which could ultimately take decisions about where and how housing is built out of our hands. And so that is not a risk that I am willing to take. That said, we're operating within a court-mandated timeline and within the framework of negotiated settlements that have already been reached. So rejecting these ordinances tonight would put the township at risk of builders' remedy litigation and could jeopardize all the progress that has been made towards resolving our housing obligation. So my vote reflects the legal reality that we are facing and the responsibility to protect the township's interests. It should not be interpreted as an agreement with every single policy decision reflected in the ordinances. But going forward, I hope we can continue to work with the Affordable Housing Committee, our professionals, and the Planning Board to ensure that developments that ultimately result from these ordinances reflect the principles that matter most: fairness, integration, and strong community design. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Does anyone else wish to speak to this ordinance or these?
No, just as a general, because these ordinances deal with land use, so they were referred from the Township Council to the Planning Board. So on February 18th, 2026, the Planning Board did review these ordinances 2026-03 through 2026-09 and found all of them to be consistent with the master plan.
Anybody else? Nope. Thank you. I think everybody's said everything. Essentially, we do have to do these ordinances and we have to do them. I believe the date's March 15th. So they've already been reviewed, and we and the rest of the state, towns and the rest of the state were given an extremely aggressive schedule to come up with affordable housing and to actually make zoning changes and to make plans and to get agreements with builders in a very, very short period of time. And I think our planners, our administration, everybody's done a very, very terrific job under a lot of pressure. We're all doing things here we might prefer not to do, but we weren't given a choice. We were given a number, and we were given a set of dates, and we were given who owns which, what we could do, and but there's only so many properties things can be built, and given that, this is the hand we have. Thank you. And I won't give that speech again either. Allison?
Okay, roll call vote. Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss. 2026-04, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the R5F zoning district 200-189.5.
Okay, I'm opening the public hearing now for 2026-04. Does anybody wish to speak on this particular ordinance? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
Okay. And can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, any comment? Nope.
Roll
Roll
call.
call?
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
Okay.
2026-05, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the bulk and use standards in the R5G zoning district 200-189.6.
I'm going to open the public hearing. For those who are interested in, I guess, what's called the Opal property, this would be your time to, the one on Alexander Road that I believe was mentioned, this would be your time to come up and speak about it. Please give your name and address.
Yeah, good evening, dear Mayor and the council members. My name is Wenmin Zhang. I live in 1 Glenview Drive. I live directly behind the high-density affordable housing that's proposed. I don't know if it's approved yet, but I heard the issue here is not about affordable housing. It's about the location, density, and scale of the proposed buildings. And I think, in my opinion, it's not the right place or right amount of units to put out there. It's a four-story proposed, and then I see the buffer near my property. It's just like a shrubbery, to my backyard. So I have a few points I'd like to point out here. First is the infrastructure capacity. I see the road being used frequently and to the maximum capacity. What about the drainage, the storm water runoffs? And also, whether a study has been shown that they're not going to be burden the residents to pay for any liabilities that arises from this high density housing. And my point number 2 is about safety and traffic. I can show you pictures I took on December of Alexander Road, on around 5:15 p.m. And you can see it's a back-to-back traffic to the direction of Route 1. And 1 minute later, the other direction back to Princeton Town is also back-to-back. So the road is used to the maximum, and we have joggers, cyclists, pedestrians, college students, or school buses. We have people that use the canal that just walk on the sidewalks, and this definitely cause a concern to safety. And my third point is about I forgot my third point, but anyway, we just think the selection of the location plus the scale, whether it can be sustained in the long term, that shape Westminster's future, like it's still a desirable place for us to live, and also the compatibility to the current resident that who we are currently living in there. We all have like one level or at most split level is like small houses, like, is this something we can withhold or swallow? So I would just request the committee to give a thoughtful planning to this proposal and ensure the well-beings of the current residents plus the new residents that gonna join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to get up and speak on this?
Hi, Kevin Rinaldo, 106 Harris Road. I admit I'm not too well versed with all the affordable housing and everything that's going on with that. I should probably read into it a little bit more, but I know a while back I had seen a post or an article about this particular development, and I understand it's most likely going to go through. But I did have some concerns as somebody who travels that road frequently to go to the towpath to run, or sometimes when I'm in better shape, I'll actually run from West Windsor to the towpath. Concern number 1 is a lot of traffic and safety. At one point, that curve was actually listed as the 3rd most hazardous stretch in West Windsor. If you Google, you'll find it. And the light at Canal Point and Alexander, as you're going towards Route 1, where it merges from 2 lanes to 1, frequently people try and fly past you on the right to beat you to get onto the one lane as it goes into Princeton. Coming up to the actual bridge by the towpath, people frequently almost get hit because they're not slowing down for pedestrians crossing the road. I've talked to Princeton police over there that were doing traffic stuff. They even said that the traffic there is really bad. So I guess the concern is if this does move forward, I guess I'll just ask council and eventually the planning board to really like zone in on, they have to improve this. There has to be improvements. There's been improvements made years in the past. I don't think they were probably the best improvements. If it does go forward, that's going to increase traffic there. It's already tons of traffic going both ways. It backs up. It really needs to be looked at and done safely and, you know, with a lot of thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to get up and speak on this particular zoning ordinance?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Well, I hope you listen to me. My name's Jeff Bisk. I live at 1 Glenview Drive. We live in a development called Glenview Acres, and each home there sits on about an acre. What you're proposing to do on the Oval Nursery site is to go from an R2, which is about 2 homes per acre, and you're not looking, you see I have my hands free, you're not looking to do 3 homes per acre, not 4 homes, not 5 homes, not even 10 homes per acre. You're proposing 20 homes per acre. It's out of character for that neighborhood. It violates your master plan. There are so many reasons besides the traffic. The area will not support the infrastructure, the stormwater. We have a nice heavily wooded property with animals and birds, and you just want to strip it down and squeeze the maximum amount of density of housing there. This is a dangerous precedent, not just for our property, but for the entire town of West Windsor. Why don't we put 20 homes in back of each of your houses per acre? How would you feel about that? I mean, come on. It's ridiculous you would even consider this. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak on this ordinance?
If there is housing.
Can you please speak your name and address into the
Shell Selden, 3 Glenview Drive. I would say 80% of the project is in my backyard. I would and could see seniors only, 65, 55 and up. Because of the crowd, senior housing is quiet, it's safe. There's lacking a lot of cars. There's not a lot of seniors driving after certain ages. I just wanted to say that as a suggestion, if there is to be housing.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak on this?
My name is Bob Lauer. I live at 4 Glenview Drive. I've been there for almost 5 years. I hadn't planned to speak today, but I thought it's necessary to address the issue of traffic, which is pretty much untenable at this point. I don't think a traffic light is going to improve our quality of life. The idea that there might be potentially 80 or more additional cars trying to get onto Alexander Road at any time of day, but certainly during rush hours between, say, 6:30 and 9 in the morning, and then in the evening, 4 to 6 or 7. I cannot imagine what that'd be like, even if the road were rerouted. And then, of course, there's the potential that people who live in this facility might not have cars, but it's not necessarily convenient for them because the public busing is somewhere down on Canal Point Boulevard. So that's it's not necessarily an easy stretch for them to walk to get to. So I would be opposed to this proposal.
Thank you. Is there anybody else at this point that wishes, sorry, I'm left here, yep. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on this ordinance? Okay, go. You get one. Yeah. Is anyone who has not spoken wish to speak on the ordinance? No, I guess at this point, I'm gonna close, ask for motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Charles?
This is, by the way, just a motion to close the public hearing. Go ahead.
Okay. Charles?
Yes.
Jeevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Okay. Mayor, would you like to speak before we go into the vote?
I'm as frustrated as you are with the density. In round 3, we were required to build 6 acres, 6 houses per acre. In this round, we are required to build close to 20 houses per acre. And I've been yelling and screaming at the state, they don't care. I mean, just like Amtrak and NJ Transit, they just don't care. So I see your frustration, that's my frustration too. And just as a correction, it's not 100% affordable. No development is 100% affordable. It's 25% affordable. Everything else is regular priced. And one of the reasons that site is that we know there's a problem with that road going to Winston. As a part of this project, the road will be fixed or improved from its current position. And with your concerns, when the application is made to the planning board, you should come and planning board will address as many of your concerns as they possibly can. So do keep looking. I mean, you will get a notice because you are within 200 feet. Whenever the application comes to the planning board, you will get a notice at home. Please do come to the planning board. It's not one and done. You will get at least 2 times to comment and give your feedback before we finalize the plan. And planning board will consider as many of your comments as they possibly can. We don't want to make anybody's life. I won't like a 4-story building in my backyard. I mean, I won't lie. You're 100. Oh, it's not, they haven't even presented a plan, so I don't have a date. It will be still months. But you should get a notice at home, registered notice at home because you are within 200 feet. So whoever is within 200 feet of that will get a notice at home saying that planning board is going to hear the application on such and such date. At that point, all the documents are posted online. So you can see the documents, give your comments even before the planning board meeting. So we are very transparent. We post it online, and if you want, we can give you electronic copies of the document. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you.
Like to caution against public session.
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I understand your frustration.
That's okay. Thank you. Before the council can have a discussion, we need to get a first and a second.
Correct.
So can I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'll open that up. We'll start.
Well, the planning board did review this ordinance and found that it is in compliance and consistent with the master plan. We hear you, and I feel for you. We listen. Yes, we can't have a dialogue now. Public comment is closed. So I understand where you're coming from, but the state gives us these hundreds and hundreds of numbers, 480 unit obligations. And so we are trying to find different sites around town. I hear saying complaints about traffic and circulation issues, Old Trenton Road. There's new developments going up there and more coming from East Windsor eventually. And so these are real issues. I mean, things are changing here because of this development that has to be done for affordable housing, and these high numbers are imposed.
So we try to spread out with each round. We're going into the fourth round. It's a 10-year round. And we're trying to make everything happen. We're not even finished with the third round with everything being built. So a lot of circulation, traffic, drainage, safety issues. That once the site plan comes in, then those issues get addressed. And there are professional reports, they're public documents that everybody can see and read and get. And then you can also comment on that. That's how it is at any application that comes in. And then the planning board has to see whether they agree with those reports or not, or whether they feel other changes need to be made. Each application is going to be different. But you certainly will be noticed, and all the materials are available to you.
Well, I want to echo what Linda said, that we do hear you. I hear you, and I understand the concerns here. We're at a stage now where we are obligated to follow a state statutory process that if we don't follow this process, it will have huge negative ramifications. And this is the good news. If there's a silver lining of good news, is this is just the first of many steps prior to anything actually ever getting built there. As mentioned, a plan hasn't even been given to the planning board yet of what it will exactly look like. And the planning board has the authority to ensure that the issues, 90% of the issues that you've addressed, stormwater management, infrastructure support, all those core things have to be addressed when this gets built. If it gets built, I mean, nothing is a slam dunk anymore, but the process is to build that. What we don't have authority right now is to change the numbers, because the numbers meet this requirement that we're obligated to follow. As the mayor pointed out, it does actually create an opportunity to force remediation of the roadway. That could also include sidewalks and other pedestrian-oriented improvements in that whole area. And so, as you've been told, I urge you to stay involved. You will explicitly get a notice. And I'm sure the planning board meetings are also publicly noticed, but because of your physical location, we're obligated to explicitly notify each and every one of you. Make your voices heard during those meetings. And I think you can make a difference in how this ultimately looks.
Joe?
Yeah, no, I agree with what my colleague said. I won't repeat some of their comments, but if it were up to a lot of us, if it was up to me, I would say, look, let's have minimal or no additional residential development in town, right? Unfortunately, state laws basically force upon every town in New Jersey, right, these large numbers of additional housing to be built. And I've been on council less than 2 months, but this thing, I think we need to pass this by March 15th, right? Or else, we could be in violation of the state law. Builders could sue us. So in some ways, our hands are tied with respect to, passing this right now. But I certainly hear your concerns. And again, if it were up to me, if I could do whatever I wanted, then, I think things would be a lot different. But this is where we're at with the current state laws.
It's called "If I Were a King."
That's your phrase.
Yeah, that's your. I mean, if it was up to me, I mean, I hear you. I feel really bad that this has to be done. And, no matter where we put this, there are some issues. Most of this town, West Windsor, is single-family homes, and the courts are coming to us requiring numbers that require high-density housing. And the mayor could talk for an hour, and I could probably talk for an hour too, so I won't do that, about all of the efforts we've done to try to bring these numbers down, to make these numbers reasonable. They came, we had numbers that we proposed that were much lower. They came back and they rejected our numbers. The law was written a certain way. Linda and I went to the State House when the law was being passed, the original law forcing this, and we testified that this wasn't good for the town, that was going to hurt our roads, it was going to hurt our environment, it was going to hurt our schools. Basically, we got ignored. The state legislature was going to do what it wanted to do. Very few, I think we were one of maybe 5 different council people from the entire state that bothered to come to testify at the state. But the League of Municipalities testified. Essentially, they knew what they were going to pass, and they really did not care. There were other groups that have, I guess, more power than we do. When this was passed, we took a look at the numbers. We spoke to everyone we had to. We hired people for a huge amount of money to look at this and see what we can do and how to minimize this. And we went into court, and the court essentially just said, nope, these guys want something. They made a lot of their own rules. Mayor, I think, mentioned originally 6 housing units per acre was the old rule that they went by. Now they came up with their own little mumbo jumbo, which I won't go into, involving what's next to it and involving other buildings, other apartment complexes that we had to build because of the last round, and came back and said, well, now you've got to do at least as good as that. And they just kept coming at us and coming with these numbers that were higher. We tried extremely, extremely hard. I know the mayor and the planners and our land use people were continuously working on it. We saw so many plans. And all I can tell you is I've been on the planning board. I was on it for 2 years before council. I've been on it a year since on council. The planning board's very interested in what you have to say. They are, I will tell you, bound by the law also, but that doesn't mean there aren't things that they can't do. And one thing is we do have stronger and stronger stormwater laws in this state. And each time they've done the stormwater laws, they've gotten tougher, and they review this to as far as what kind of runoff there is from these properties. And when we have people that look at it, they have people that look at it, and I've gone through these drawings in great detail. Where's the stormwater running off? What's going to happen? Is there going to be flooding? We have experts. They don't have to depend on me. And we try to make that as absolutely safe as possible as far as the runoff, and as nice as possible. As far as traffic, we have traffic engineers. I think the mayor talked to you that we had some issues where people were worried about noise. Now we have a noise expert. This is an industrial facility, so there's not the same concern that somebody's putting a big machine there, but we do look to put whatever we may need to do. If somebody mentioned that there's like a little bush in between properties, those kinds of things the planning board can look at and maybe see what alternates are available that might be a little bit more satisfactory for everybody. We are, I know there's cost issues, and there's not a bottomless pit of money. But I think they will try to do as much as possible, and I do encourage you to go to these meetings. There will be online. We have in the last few years, we've put now all of the plans online. So if you have some people that are interested in that, you can go on there, you can look at the drawings, so that when you come in to make a comment to the planning board, you can be prepared and not just say, hey, I'm worried about this, that, but you can actually look at it and say, here, I'm looking at this piece, or I'm looking at you know, where the overall site plan is, or I'm looking for at the cross-section plan of this or that, the road plan, you know, the utility plan, whatever you're interested in. And you can actually make comments based on that. You can send some letters also if you want, you know, if you want to submit drawings and things. Going to the meeting is the most effective way, because that's puts you officially as somebody who has spoken at the meeting, and therefore the meeting is set up so that the builder and the people representing everybody is all there, and there can be a hearing on that. We don't do that here. The council passes the overall law. The planning board is where it happens for making the detail drawings. So, and as my colleagues have mentioned, we are not, we sit here and we can vote yes or no, but if we vote no, we know it'll happen. And vote, and what's happened to towns in the past is they've said, oh, I don't want to do any of this. And then the court turns right around and says, well, now the builders can do whatever they want, and we're not interested in your opinion. And I'll say that's happened in West Windsor, when there was some sort of an attempt not to meet something in time. And the next thing we knew, there's housing around here that was put up where West Windsor had less power, and that wasn't pleasant. So we're trying to maximize the within the framework. We're trying to maximize how much authority we can have. And that's all I think I've got to say. If no one else has anything else at this point, shall we have a vote?
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss. 2026-06, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the bulk and use standards in the R5H zoning district 200-189.7.
I'm opening the public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
Okay.
Motion to adopt?
Yep, sorry. Oh, sorry. Motion to adopt? I was just looking at the next one. Yes.
Motion- So moved.
Second.
Good.
Okay. Comments, roll call?
Comments? No. Everybody's pretty commented out, I think.
Oh.
Maybe we should just raise your hand or say something if you want to comment.
No, it's just been found in compliance with the master
Yes.
plan by the planning board on February 18th, 2026.
Okay.
Roll call?
Roll call. Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss. Okay, 2026-07, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the bulk and use standards in the R5I zoning district 200-189.8.
Opening the public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss.
And can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any comment?
Planning board determined that this ordinance is consistent with the master plan at the February 18th, 2026 hearing.
Thank you.
Okay. Charles,
Yes.
Jeevers,
Yes.
Mandel,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Gauss. 2026-08, ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999, by creating the bulk and use standards in the R5J zoning district 200-189.9.
I'm opening the public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any comment?
It's February 18th, 2026, Planning Board reviewed this ordinance and found it to be consistent with the master plan.
Thank you. Can I get a vote?
Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Thank you. That passes.
Okay. 2026-09, ordinance to amend and supplement the Princeton Junction redevelopment plan regulatory provisions to create the RP7A and RP7B zoning districts of the Princeton Junction redevelopment plan, chapter 200 of the Code of the Township of West Windsor, 1999.
I'm opening the public hearing on 2026-09. Does anybody wish to speak? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Okay, and can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any comment?
February 18th, 2026, the Planning Board reviewed this ordinance and found it to be consistent with the master plan.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call?
Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Okay, can move on to the consent agenda.
Okay, 2026-R060, approving the refund of construction permit fee for a roof replacement to Treps Roofing, Inc. in the amount of $425. 2026-R061, approving the refund for a duplicate permit fee for a radon system vent permit to Seuss Radon and Electric, Inc. in the amount of $250. February 9th, 2026 business session minutes, bills and claims.
Does anyone wish to pull anything? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
And recommendations from administration and council clerk.
Okay. 2026-R062, authorizing the appointment of Sagartha Arangiri as a student member of the Human Relations Council with a term to expire on January 14th, 2027. 2026-R063, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement with Spiesel Architectural Group, Inc. in the amount of $1,200 for the installation of a fire suppression sprinkler system and associated fire alarm at the West Windsor Township Fire EMS facility for a total not to exceed $34,920. 2026-R064, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a professional services agreement with PM Construction to provide repairs to the municipal storm sewer system for the project known as 2025 Storm Sewer Repairs Project, $759,345. 2026-R065, authorizing the increase of contract amount with Scheidler Excavating Company, Inc. for snow removal services in the amount of $300,000 for a revised contract total of $490,000.
Does anybody wish to pull anything? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Charles?
Yes.
Chevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Okay, an introduction of ordinances. Did you want to say something first?
Oh, yeah. Before we introduce it,
Does,
I-
do you,
Read it first.
do you read it first and then she?
Yes, so we know what we're talking about, yeah. 2026-11, an ordinance repealing and replacing certain sections in Part 3, subdivision and site plan procedures, and Part 4, zoning, Article 31, general provisions and supplemental regulations governing certain uses, and replacing them with provisions implementing the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls and amended Fair Housing Act.
Linda?
Yeah, what I'd like to do is amend this ordinance, and there's a section that gives definitions of different terms, and I'd like to delete the accessory dwelling unit definition from this ordinance. And just so you know, there was no further reference to accessory dwelling units. The definition just sits there, and there was nothing else in this, so.
So it's superfluous.
Yeah, so we're.
Good word.
Take that out.
We have to, is there a second for that? We have to vote on it. Just a second.
Oh.
So you're making a motion
I'll
to.
make a motion to delete the accessory dwelling unit definition.
I second that.
Okay.
Do we vote on that? I don't think we did.
Just for the amendment.
It's not, yeah, we're taking it out beforehand. Okay. All right.
Okay.
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 Oh, we know. It's not, we're removing it before we introduce it. Okay, I think. We generally, we tend to, yeah, we vote, we tend to just vote on the amendment usually. Yeah, okay.
So motion to.
So we know, yeah, would be a
Motion
motion.
to adopt 20
No, we're not adopting, we're, yeah.
Was to
We're-
introduce as amended?
Yeah, we're gonna, it's a motion to, we need a motion to introduce.
Motion
As
to
amended.
introduce as amended.
As amended, yes. So, yeah, right, wait.
Yeah.
So motion to introduce 2026-11 as amended by removing the section about accessory dwelling units.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Okay. Charles?
Yes.
Jeevers?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Gauss?
Okay. We have at this point, that's passed. We have additional public comment, same 3 minutes. Does anybody wish to make a public comment in the second public comment period? Please state your name and address.
Phyllis Delk, 10 West Kincaid Drive. I've been a resident of this town since 2003. And I also am super familiar with the area in terms of the 2026-02 ordinance for the car wash. I know the time has passed, but apologies, I work and just found about this today. And I also worked at McCaffrey's throughout high school and part of college. So I just wanted to ask a point of clarification for the car wash. So like, even though I don't personally agree with it, I just want to know if and when a car wash does get approved and when it comes, what kind of car wash would it be? Would it be an automated car wash, or would it be like a traditional car wash? Because I just wanted to understand from the point of job growth and increasing jobs. I don't really understand how an automated car wash would actually increase jobs in the area. Just as someone who worked at McCaffrey's, did the low wage job, and I know people who did low wage jobs also. I just don't get how that would help. And I have another question too, but I don't know if it's, yeah.
We have to finish public comment before, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank
And then
you.
also just wanted to clarify, is it going to be just a standalone car wash, or is it going to be a quick check and a car wash?
Okay, now, does anybody else wish to speak? Thank you.
Kevin Rinaldo, 106 Harris Road. I just had a question. I don't know necessarily if it's appropriate now or even if it's, I wouldn't say it's a silly question. It might be an odd question, but I figured I'd ask anyway. With all the new developments that are coming in, I noticed the other day, I was actually, as some of you know, I'm involved heavily with like dog rescue. And something came up and I wanted to check something, so I went to that being said, is there anything the town can do to maybe pass an ordinance or something that prevents maybe not past developments, but future developments from having breed restrictions for any of the residents? The reason I ask this is because a lot of people have certain dogs, they want to move to the area, and if they have anything on that breed restriction list that either is a mix or that specific breed, they can't live in those places. And a lot of issues are coming up now where people have dogs, they need to move here. They choose the apartment, they lose the dog. Our shelters are being overrun with abandoned dogs, lost dogs, dogs that are being surrendered. If you look at any of the shelters in the area, it's ridiculous. So if there's anything that the town can do to kind of prevent these breed restrictions, I think that would actually, it would be one of the things that like West Windsor could be like, hey, look what we did. We're proud of this. Come live in our town. You can bring your dog with you. And I think it'll potentially help lighten the load on shelters, rescues that are having to place dogs, fosters, and other things like that. If you could look into that, that'd be great. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, did you want to address this question? And
So
Mr. Attorney, if you want.
I will respond in that order. See, the ordinance passed is,
Well,
We should vote on closing public. Or
Oh.
you.
no, I close it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's two people. I'm closing the public comment. Okay. Yeah.
so right now we have just approved a car wash, means any company can come there. They will first have to come to the planning board probably in next 2-3 months. At that time, you can find out exactly which company it's coming. I do expect Quick Check to open first because they have all the approvals and they are ready to go. So I would expect Quick Checks will open first, and then if you keep following the planning board agenda, you will see when the car wash comes to the planning board. At that time, we can talk about which. Technically, the developer can build any car wash as long as it fits in the description. I mean, I do know the make and model, but that's not guaranteed. I mean, he can tomorrow changes. We haven't approved a brand. We have just approved a car wash, right? So when it comes to the planning board, you will know exactly what brand that is. But Quick Check should open fairly quickly. At least the work should start fairly quickly, much before the car wash opens. That. And your question is a little bit legal, so I have to talk with a lawyer to figure out what we can do, what we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Right. We
Yeah,
can now
I just
go into.
wanted to say, thank you for bringing that up about the dogs. I never had heard that was actually something that happens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's also, I remember hearing a plan on one apartment that they took dogs, but now they do charge, like a lot of them will charge like $100 a month or something to have the dog.
Yeah.
And they take the DNA sample from the dog, so if there's some dog poop, they can come back to your dog and fine you. So it's not that, yeah, but I've never heard these things till I was planning. Or, and I know pit bulls and pit bull mixes are in trouble because that's usually one of the ones
Yeah, I
that
mean,
gets.
I can understand dogs or no dogs. I can understand maybe weight and size.
That, some are 30-pound dogs, yeah.
Specific breeds seems a little.
And when you mention, yeah.
Certain dog breeds that might raise insurance rates.
Yeah. And when it comes to something like, if you mention Avalon, that the apartments, there's all different owners of, there's Pulte and there's Avalon and there's different, so some of them might have something, some of them might have another thing. So, yeah, it's tough. I know people who can't find a place to live or sometimes live on the street of people that, because there's no.
There are indeed restrictions for condos and dependencies too, the homeowners associations too. But it's an interesting question.
Yeah, but.
I don't know if we can do that. We'd have to research that.
And it becomes a kind of interesting thing, especially since everything being built has affordable housing in it now. And how would that be affected? But it'd be interesting. I don't know if we can do that, but it would be interesting to find out. Okay, at this point, we're going to go to the council reports. So, Linda, you want to start?
Shade Tree Commission met on February 25th. They worked on a schedule for updating the Community Forestry Management Plan, which is required to be approved by the Shade Tree Commission and sent to the DEP by the end of this year. They're also preparing for the Arbor Day celebration on April 25th with a Revolutionary Roots theme, especially for the art contest. Details on the art contest for all WWP K-8 students will be posted tomorrow. On February 25th, also that night, the planning board approved the Montessori Kids Universe application, PB 25-10. This Montessori school will be located within an existing mixed-use building at W Squared in the Avalon development by the train station.
Thank you, Linda. Dan?
Affordable housing did not meet this month, and the next Board of Ed meeting is tomorrow evening. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Joe?
Yeah, the rec commission met, reported on a successful dad and daughter dance. The expected date for the community picnic is anticipated to be June 13th, with June 14th as a rain date. Applications are open for any high schoolers who want a summer job at community pool, various positions besides lifeguards. There was some discussion around the fees that the school district would charge the town for using facilities. That's still under some debate and discussion with the district. They had previously proposed a very substantial increase in that rate, so we'll see where that comes out and if we need to do anything with that. And then they are looking at buying a tree for the holiday lights. Apparently, there's a cost for DPW to rent equipment to put lights on the current tree that goes in Ron Rogers Arboretum every year, and buying a prefab tree that could be, would basically pay for itself within about a 3-year period. So there's, I think that's something they're going to do as well.
Okay.
Is that like a really big tree?
Yes, it's, yeah, it comes apart in pieces and then we get stored in one of the sheds.
So that's a non-denominational tree.
I suppose, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I think it's not, yeah, because the religious people have to pay for their own thing, so just throwing that in there. Okay, so, yeah, interesting. Okay, Sonia's not here. She met with the Human Relations Council, and by the way, it's the same report. The community picnic for Diversity Day is going to be Saturday, June 13th, or a rain date of June 14th. We're talking about the same picnic. And the emergency, for me, the Emergency Management Council did meet on February 25th. They met and discussed various duties of the council, whether or not, equipment with new things coming in. We had some brief discussion on equipment and staff to meet those needs. And there was also some discussion that the council itself actually doesn't have a budget and may be looking for some small budget in the future. The Environmental Commission is going to meet on March 12th, and they're going to review the draft natural landscape ordinance, which was just emailed out. That ordinance is supposed to be made available to the public so that they can review the draft ordinance as part of the meeting. That is, last I saw, that hasn't been done yet. So I don't know if there's a holdup or something there. The natural landscape ordinance, which is going to get reviewed by the Environmental Commission, that's supposed to go on the website, the draft ordinance. The draft ordinance for the natural landscaping.
Oh, yeah,
As opposed to,
that's not ready yet. Yeah.
no, it was, we saw it. We got emailed a copy of it.
Okay. Then
So then, and Francis said he was going to put it on the website. I just want to make sure there's no barrier to that. So that
okay,
does happen.
I will get it.
And that's pretty much it on my end. Administration updates. Does anyone, Mayor Allison, have anything else to say? We have no second closed session. And so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have adjourned on 9:50 tonight.